Hello friends, welcome to the Angular 8 tutorial. In this tutorial, we will learn what is attribute binding and how we use it in the Angular 8. So basically, an attribute binding is also type of the one-way data binding that is used to communicate between the HTML and the component. So basically, in the interpolation binding and the property binding, we deal with the component class property with the DOM properties, not with the attribute. But not all the HTML attribute have corresponding properties. Like attribute is different and the properties of an DOM is the different. Like for an example, for a HTML table, if we want to use the attribute call span, that doesn't have corresponding property because that is a attribute, not a property. So in such kind of situation, we use the attribute binding where we attach the component property with the attribute. So let's understand more about attribute binding with an example. So go to the Visual Studio Code and at this point of time, let's see what it is showing on the browser. So ng sir and hit enter, and let's see on the browser what it is showing. So first it will compile and it will show on the browser. So for understanding the attribute binding, what we will do, we will create a one table and we will have the call span attribute for that th, and we will see how it work dynamically, or what we can say, how it take the property value from the component. So it's compiled successfully. Now let's see on the browser. So it at point of this time it is showing the .NET Office is running. The default port for the Angular is the 4200. So let's now create a one table on this HTML page. So for creating the table we have, and at this time I will add the border to this border, and I will give 1, and after that I will take t head and inside this I will take one tr and inside this I will take th, and I will give like student info, and after this t head I will take t body, and in this t body I will define the tr, and under this tr I will define the td. So I will define one td for like name, and other td is for, I will take the name from the component using the interpolation. Let's copy this whole tr and take another variable called age. Here I will write age, and next one I will take as a gender, and same I will copy and paste. Now we will define all these property in the component page. So on the component page, let's define all these. Name I will take as a string, and I will define a value like Govind, and next property I will take like age, and it will be like number variable, and I will define 26, and next is gender, and I will take it as a string only, and I will define male. Now let's compile it and see on the browser now what it is showing. Let's go on the browser. Now we can see like it is showing name, age and gender, but what we can see like student info is one side. So what we will do, we will give the call span value, and that is a attribute of it. So we will define call span equal to 2, because we have to give the call span like 2. So if we see on the browser, it is coming properly. So basically we have given the call span value as the static. Now we want this value from the component page. So what I will do, I will create one property here, call span, and I will take as a number and I will give 2. Now what I will do, I will define this variable value here. Now first let's see if I take that value in a using the interpolation. Let's see what it will show on the browser. We can see it is not showing anything. Now let's go to the inspect element and see what error it is showing. So if we go to the error and we see here and scroll up, and what it is saying, like, can't bind call span since it isn't a non property. So what it is saying, that call span, it's not a property basically, and we are assigning this value interpolation to the call span basically, and it is, we define this as a property binding, but basically it's not a property binding, it's a attribute. So to taking this as a attribute, we have to append it like attr dot, and now save it and see on the browser again, and we can see like it is showing properly as expected. So basically this is the way we can use it, and we can use this attribute binding as a property as well, like this. So for taking using it as in brackets, we have to make it in the single quotes, otherwise it will not take the value. If we want to check, let's see first and see on the browser. Like we can see again, like it is giving error, like got interpolation where expression was expected in this, like this, and it is saying that template parse error. We can't define it like this, so we have to take it as a property in the call span. Now let's save it and see on the browser, and we can see it is working as expected. So like this we use the attribute binding. So basically we if any DOM element which doesn't have property and have the attribute, so for assigning the attribute value from the component, we use the keyword and we define the value to this attribute. So basically this is the attribute binding, and if you have any question, please comment. Thank you.